If you've lost motivation, here's why. It's because you're treating life as an Uber ride. And here's what I mean. So in life, it's not as convenient as an Uber ride. You can't just book in success and you have an app that shows you exactly how many minutes away your success will come. So it's not going to say on your app, oh, success will arrive in 7 days. And so you have this very convenient and very predictable tracker on your phone that will tell you when you will achieve that outcome that you want. Now, regardless of what outcome you want, the same thing applies. Whether you want good grades, whether you want to get into a relationship, whether you want to become financially free. These outcomes, they don't have a real-time tracker to it. There's no way of knowing when these things will come, if they'll ever come in the first place. And I've realized when we lose motivation, it's because we can't see how long success will take until it reaches us. Like if you had a phone that told you you will become financially free in 7 months, given you put in 10 hours of work a day, would you take that trade? A lot of people would, because it's predictable, assuming that it's guaranteed. If you just put 10 hours of work every day for 1 week, you'll become financially free. And so in that case, you would have motivation because the output is guaranteed, and given that you care about that outcome, and again, just substitute that with another goal. If becoming financially free is not the biggest concern at this stage, but basically, if you have that set in stone and you know that's going to happen, you're going to feel more motivated. But the issue is, we lose motivation when we can't see this happen, because life is not like that. There's no GPS route. There's no train station sign saying how many minutes are left until the train of success arrives at our station. That does not happen. And so for me, that was the most challenging part. When I lose motivation, and I still do, and it's because I think for a second, I can't see when this train or when this Uber ride will actually arrive. I remember in high school when I failed to get into my dream school because I didn't get high enough grades. I disappointed my parents and actually cried because of that a lot. And that's why I spent the next 4 years trying to improve my grades, trying to become as good of a student as possible. And hopefully by the end of high school, I'll have high grades, high enough grades to get into my dream course, medicine. And for those 4 years, I didn't know if that was going to happen. I didn't know if the effort or the amount of notes or the amount of practice papers I'm doing at the moment would actually get me to my final result. In the end, it did. So even though that happened, it didn't mean during those 4 years, I didn't feel that lack of motivation, that lack of uncertainty, all those things. I completely felt those things. And it can be very paralyzing at certain times. And so the way to combat this uncertainty is to create your own destinations with complete certainty. And the way to do this is, it can't be outcome-based. If it's outcome-based, it's always going to be uncertain. For example, if I say, hey, I want this A+ at the end of year exam. I want to get an A+ at the exam at the end of the year. Cool. If it's the start of the year, there's 1 whole year of uncertainty. I'll never know if I'll get that A+ until the end of the year. And for that entire year, my motivation is just going to completely fluctuate because it's uncertain. I don't know if I'll get this A+. It's going to sit in my mind all day. But the way to overcome this is what I mentioned before, with destinations with certainty. And it can't be on outcomes. Instead, it has to be on the process. So for example, today I'm going to do 10 practice exams, for example. Now, if I set that as my destination, I can check that off every day. And if I check that off every day for an entire week, for an entire month, for a few months, then eventually I'll reach my goal. But you can see that I'm not setting the destination as getting the A+. I'm setting the destination as getting 10 practice exams done per day. And so I'm reaching all these tiny destinations, small destinations along the way, so I can reach my eventual destination at the end. But if I don't have these mini pit stops or these tiny destinations along the way, There's nothing to show me that I'm still on the right track. And if I don't know if I'm on the right track, that's when I lose motivation. That's when I feel shit about myself. So focus on setting destinations on the process, not the outcomes. Because the scary thing about success is the fact that it's not like an Uber ride. You can't just book in a Uber for success and expect it to arrive in 10 minutes or in 10 days. You don't know when that'll come, when success will come, if it even comes. I completely hope it does for you, and I wish you all the best. But there's just so much uncertainty with the outcome that the only way to combat this uncertainty is to treat life and treat all your goals unlike a Uber ride. And with that, you'll be able to find much more motivation. So, wish you all the best.